Damn. Look at that.
Tommy Gallant, we are live.
We are live.
Yeah.
We're kind of squeezed into the frame because, of course, Google haven't caught up yet, or not Samsung, or whatever. Anyway, we can't landscape it, guys.
Yeah, so we're at Currumbin. We're actually at the Wildlife Park here in Currumbin on the southern end of the Goldie. Beautiful. We've got koalas around us and all the wildlife. We're sitting here in this beautiful cafe on this glorious day, nearly 30 degrees, Tommy G. And
30 degrees,
on the Goldie. Not bad.
Nice sort of weather.
I love it, love it.
Yeah.
So, Tommy G, we're going to keep today a little bit short because we've got a very important meeting coming up pretty soon.
We have.
So we're going to jump into the physiological and spiritualogical, moving on from Monday. And I'm going to hand it over to you as the interviewer. Interview more about me today. That's our usual style.
Okay.
So
yes, correct.
Just leaning off from
what was Monday about?
Yeah. So there we go. So over to you.
Yeah. So Monday was about. Let me remember. I knew you were handing it over to him, going, "Shit, I hope he remembers." Give me a seniors moment. Hang on. We're going to give us both a seniors moment.
So we're talking about that leadership role and really bringing that soul quality in the business, and what that means. Always, what it really means to bring that soul aspect in. Because as you know, you and I, we keep talking about bringing the soul into business.
We do.
So, and we spoke very much about what it is for leaders to bring that quality in, into that leadership role, and taking that courage. Because we spoke about the fear of that, we spoke about how to bring that courage into it. So
that's it.
So let's take off from there.
Okay. Well, thanks for the extra time, because what it was about was about going into the blackness.
Yeah.
Right. And so when you're looking at this from a soul perspective, and in fact, quick little advert, we actually got out. Come in closer, so I won't bite, darling. When we're going into the blackness from a soul perspective. I'm sorry, we're talking about logo. We just got a logo done.
We did. Yeah.
We did.
The CAP logo is ready to go.
Yep.
And we will upload that hopefully here for next week, so we can.
That's kind of cool. Great idea. Yeah. No, we'll be showing off the logo because we're partway through completing. The video series has been recorded. We're checking it over right now, and we're going to be having that ready in the next week or so. Getting pretty close for a pre-Christmas launch.
We are.
So don't miss that. We spent a full 2 days recording 12 plus videos, 20 minutes, nice, perfect, like a transit length of video trainings, mini trainings as we call them, and lots of great stuff in there. But the blackness and the soul. So, Adrian, going into the blackness as you start to move beyond the physiological, a bit of the psychological, and we spoke about that on Monday. That as we are now in the soul into the week on beautiful Freedom Friday, right? How does it gets to have Freedom Friday? What does it mean? Blackness, and from a soul aspect, and even let's go spiritual.
So a good analogy around that, what I call the blackness or the void, is what often happens, particularly for men. It happens to women too, but let's stick with the men at the moment. When one reaches the age of around sort of 39 to 45, usually, some people call that the dark night of the soul.
Right.
Yeah, and it's, there's tons of people wrote about that more, and other philosophers have written about this time when men reach this point in their life where there's an emptiness in the soul.
Right. They become aware of it.
And they become aware of it.
Right.
Sometimes, yeah. And oftentimes not, because it's not named, it's not quantified as a dark place of the soul. Okay. And what that really means is there's an emptiness, and there's a feeling around something's not right. And oftentimes there's a high divorce rate around that time, between sort of 38 and 45, because there's an emptiness in life, and then we project things on our partners, and there's an uncomfortableness around
defensive
relationship.
Ego,
and
especially for execs, that plays a big piece to help the venom. They're under a lot of pressure.
But what it's really saying is there's something missing, and oftentimes, I have a bit of a giggle, Tommy. Oftentimes, men hit that space. They go through separation, they get divorced, and they buy a motorbike and get a 26-year-old blonde and get on the back of the motorbike and sail off into the sunset. And it does, it might feel good for a little while.
I've kind of been there.
Yeah. Most of us sort of have to some degree in one form or another.
Right.
But it doesn't really satisfy the soul. It sort of satisfies the ego, and it feels good.
Yeah.
But on that deeper level, it's oftentimes the critical time when a lot of people get sick.
Yeah.
Depression, anxiety.
Yeah. Right.
that sense of emptiness. So if we flip that over into business, there's a certain juncture, a certain point in many businesses, particularly people running businesses, where things start to get a bit empty. You know, why am I doing this? What's the bigger meaning behind this?
You're on that treadmill. And it's like, where's this all going?
Where's it going?
Where's this all going?
You know, where's the joy? Where's the satisfaction?
That's exactly the
where's
fulfillment.
The fulfillment in the soul. So that blackness, that emptiness, often then would lead to addictions, because people have an empty hole, and you know the soul, if you like, doesn't like to be empty. So what we do, we have a desire to fill it. Now, if we don't find the right thing to fill it from a positive, we'll just grab something negative and fill it, just for the sake of filling it, because we have to have a desire. Because we can't live without desire. It's a human trait. We have to have a desire.
And our brain loves to be active too.
So whether it's a negative or positive desire, the soul actually doesn't, as long as it's full. So we have to be discerning on what we put into the soul to fill that void, to fill that blackness, to bring in something positive. And if we bring that to the business space, you might have been in business not for a few months, a few years, or decades and decades, and at some point it's going to feel like something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel right because we're using the wrong product, we're not looking after the environment, we're not treating the staff well.
These are kind of all symptomatic things, right?
Totally, So then we have to make the choice of, how do I change that?
Treating people well, not treating yourself well.
Absolutely, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So the question then is, what do I need to do to change that feeling within me? Well, you have to take action. You have to put in some resources, some tools, some strategies to reverse engineer what's been going on. And that can be challenging, because there may have been years and years and years and years of a certain system in an organization, a company, or a business that hasn't been serving it well, but it's become a habit. It might be
a non-thinking habit.
It could be my granddad had the business, and my father, and now I've been handed the business. And things...
Responsibility.
And things are different now. I want to be a bit more altruistic. I want to be a bit more caring for the environment. So we have
Who am I?
Who am I? Big question. Who am I in this journey? Where's my soul?
Where's my soul?
Because 10 years ago, soul was a bit of a challenging word to use. But as you and I have discussed, driving here, soul is, really, if you haven't heard the word soul, like, where have you been? Because it's everywhere now.
People are looking for that. I think humanity is at that stage now.
It is.
So they're going, what am I doing all this for? And especially after what the world's been through over this last year, and currently with this US election, which is all tied up. We Telstra Air decided to jump in.
We're going. We're back live again.
Back live again. There we go.
Live. It's going to jump in and out, I think. Something.
But the world is at that point.
It is. And if we take this idea of the microcosm and the macrocosm, whatever is going on inside the human being is going to be exposed in the environment. Because if we're all connected, if we take that as our premise, we're all connected, we're all one. So whatever's going on the inside will get manifest on the outside, and vice versa.
And the issue's in the tissue, as you always say.
The issue's in the tissue. So if we start to look at that, what's happening from a micro perspective, and we take in and added that macro perspective, it's got a balance. So whatever's going on internally is going to be expressed externally. Cancer is prevalent within the human body. What's going on the outside in the world?
It's usually toxic stuff, toxic thoughts or toxic environment.
So there's always a mirroring of the human soul to what I would call the Gaia soul, or the world soul. And if we're going to talk about soul openly, if you take the earth as a living being, and it's got a beating soul, and this is being proven now that the world seismologically, it can be measured. It shrinks and grows, and it breathes. 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. roughly. There's a breathing and breathing, seismically measured, so scientifically proven. It's not just a soul theory. So. And people in meditative space can feel that. And I'm going to give you a little way to see this for yourself. And it depends on where you live. But around about sort of 3 a.m. to say 4:30 a.m. in the world, wherever you are, go and sit outside and listen to nature. And there's a moment where nature transitions from the in-breath to the out-breath, and the birds go silent.
Oh,
It's a true phenomenon. Seriously, if you haven't experienced that yet, go and sit in nature. Yep. Where the birds are a bit tweety in the night, you know, you get the night birds.
Yep.
And then the day birds start. And in between that, there's a moment of silence for about 15 minutes. And it's the most magical moment to experience.
This is like a dusk? Or
it's about 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
Also happens about 4 in the afternoon.
Wow.
Where you get all that bird wild, you know, twittering, and then they stop. And it's when the world goes from the in-breath to the out-breath, the out-breath to the in-breath.
Okay.
Measurable.
Right.
You know, the scientists now measure this wave. They call it, you know, the breathing wave or the seismological wave of the Earth. So what used to be just an idea or a spiritual concept of the Earth breathing is now a, you know, scientifically proven
scientific phenomenon.
Yeah. So spirit is coming together with science. That's, you know,
again, right? Science is catching up.
So if you're going to find that space and breathe into that space and measure that, the question is, in business, where the transition times of breathing in and out of the business.
Right.
When do I breathe into the blackness?
Right.
Or when do I breathe out of the blackness?
Oh, all right. Yeah. So break down then breathing into the blackness.
Yeah. So I would suggest breathing into the blackness in your business is going in and going into the dark void of what's not working in the business.
Okay.
Having the courage to honor and own and speak, explore and identify what's not working.
Right.
Be brave. Go in and say, you know what? This isn't feeling good. This is not working.
Yeah.
And then taking the courage to start the process.
The courage.
Start the process to face those physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially. How am I treating my staff? How am I treating my customers? What is my product?
You're not going to be able to think your way out of this, are you? You're not going to be able to do the prefrontal cortex analytical, you know, and your reticular activation system, which is scanning for danger, isn't going to like it, right? Because it's got, Tommy,
change.
Are you nuts? We've got no record of this ever succeeding. Or, hey, look, this is what happened last time. Here it is, boss. And so that's going to hold you tight to the dog.
Yeah. So you've got to find that that absolute courage to go in there and support. Find your team.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, if it's Tommy or I, whoever it is, but find somebody that can hold you in that space.
Yeah, mentor or coach.
Because your space has got to be held.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a boxer's not getting into a boxing ring without a coach.
Yeah. Right.
Somebody in karate is not going to get into a position where he goes and does his tournament. You're not
going to do this stuff on your own. You're not going to.
Tiger Woods did not become, you know, the greatest champion in golf ever, in my opinion, without having his coaches. And he had five coaches, minimum 5 coaches.
Right.
Relationship coach, exercise
that
coach,
one went
golfing coach. Well, he came out of it okay.
He did. No, that point.
Because he had coaches.
So relationship with himself is obviously one needed
that
to be
was the biggest,
there, right?
the head.
Yeah, the head.
So we have. So if we're going to go into the darkness, Tommy, we've got to go in with some courage. We've got to get that, what I call that lights energy.
Yeah.
We've got to go in. We've got to be willing to explore it, and we've got to. And you're not going to tame it until you name it.
Yeah. Right.
So name what's not working for you anymore, and it might be just a feeling to begin with.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't feel right.
What doesn't feel right?
Yeah. It's my sixth sense, or it's my soul, or it's my gut. Gut feeling.
Is that fear, or is that?
Well, no. It's just a feeling of something doesn't feel right here. I don't feel like our product is actually doing the right thing for the environment right now.
Right.
It might be that we're using some toxic thing in our product.
Yeah.
That could be changed for something more environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
That's better for humanity, better for our clients.
Right.
But you're gonna have to find the courage to change it.
That's it. You got to dig deep, don't you?
Yeah, and that's the blackness.
The heart knows.
Yeah,
that's the blackness.
The heart knows.
The brain can't work this out.
No.
And when your consciousness, when you're conscious, it's like the speed of your prefrontal cortex is super freaking slow, right? Versus the other 93% in the back end, which is actually a supercomputer. It's super fast, but it's not that easy to access when you're being conscious and your 5 senses are stimulated, right? Yeah.
So you got to get the off switch.
Yeah.
From that old habitual way of working.
Right.
And find a new program.
So how do we get there?
Coaching.
Yep.
Is one of them.
Right.
And knowing you want to change something. Right. The desire. So the first big thing, and Napoleon Hill talks about this in Think and Grow Rich.
It's got to be a driver.
You've got to have the drive. You've got to have the desire for change. Yeah. So the first question will be...
And a healthy driver.
Yeah. First question is, what am I desiring to change? Right. So I'm going to set that as a bit of a task and for people watching in.
Yeah.
Is looking at your business and or your life or both.
Yeah.
And saying, where in my business, in my life, in my corporation, in my organization, what needs to change to step it up a couple of steps, to make it a better company, to make it a better organization. What can we do? 5%, 10%. What can I do to change? That's step one.
Right.
So let's leave it at step one, so we don't confuse.
Cool. Yep.
And what we'll do next week, we'll elaborate on that step one.
Perfect.
And we'll try and get a bit of feedback happening.
Right.
And maybe some questions happening.
Right.
For people that are a bit stuck. You know, I've got an organization, I've got a business, I've got a company, and I know it needs to change.
Yeah.
But we're a bit stuck here.
What
and let's get a Q&A happening a little bit.
Cool.
It'll be a great thing.
Great idea. And I think leading up to our imminent release this month of the video series, I think that's going to be a great lead in.
Yeah.
People to understand why we've put it together and what content is going to be in there to help them go further.
Because Tommy, it's all about bringing soul in the business.
Yeah. Notice you didn't say the soul.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We're taking it
bringing soul. We're taking. You took the out.
Yeah.
Which I think
bringing
makes sense.
soul
bringing
in the business.
soul in the business.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
and that's what we do well.
We do.
You know, it's what we're here to do.
That's what we're here
to do. It's the purpose, eh?
But,
yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So Tommy G, really quickly, 20 seconds. Where can people connect with you?
They can connect with me on Let's Connect at TommyGallant.com. Also on LinkedIn, Tommy Gallant, and on Facebook. And you can do an executive lifestyle assessment at biotechexec.net as well, which gives you a 20 to 30 minute session with me and doing a health optimization strategy specific to you. And Mr. Hanks, how about your good self?
All right, so 2 great places, LinkedIn, of course, Adrian Hanks, and also my website, Adrian Hanks. And likewise, you can book in and do a 15-minute Where Am I Right Now strategy session, where you get a sense of where you are right now in your life and make a wish of where you want to be. And we can start the process of getting you there, all about health and well-being. So Tommy G, fantastic. Let's go and have a cracking afternoon.
Let's have a cracking afternoon. This cracker of a day.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching in. Catch you soon.
Okay.
See you. Good one.